Boys, it took me nearly a decade to get the kind of back that really pokes out through the shirt. A lot of people always ask me, how do I fill out my shirts a little bit better? It's all in the back, but there's a difference between having those type of wings and back thickness. Back thickness is the answer to the question that you've been after for quite some time. Let's get in today's video. All right, we're gonna get right into it. So the way we're gonna set this up is probably in a way that you have never done before. The way we like to do it is you wanna pick something that really moves the needle for you, but in a way that it's easy to progress. Because on the back end, I'm gonna give you a plug and play that you can easily do inside the gym. So first thing you're gonna do, and you've already done this before, is rowing, but I'm not gonna do them with the close grip D handles, and I'll show you why in a second. If we're really going for a thick back, I highly recommend, and this is also based off of me and other people that I've helped out, a wider grip is going to help thicken up your back a little bit more than just a narrow one. Narrow is still gonna do the job, but this is just about really coming in precise. So first order of business, I go like this, right? A lot of people kind of struggle with this specifically. I like to actually come all the way back, and then I hinge at my hips. And now keep in mind, the cue that you want to use is you want to almost allow the back to stretch. If I were going for more rear delts, I would kind of have my elbows up high, but I actually like to kind of tuck them in. So that's kind of my cue. That's why I like starting off almost with like a deadlift, and then I hinge at my hips, elbows down and tight, and now I row. And it's okay if you slack a little bit and push off. It's not the end of the world. You just want to make sure you're rowing with your back. And you take it to complete failure. And understand, I only got like 5-6 reps. That's all you need. When you're progressing, you want to focus on the weight you're pulling, because on the back end, we're going to pick an isolation-esque exercise to take the muscle to complete failure. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, boys, I'm putting on a shirt because that's what I promised. I said something about back thickness poking out. This is like a double XL, by the way. Double XL. Trying to show you, you're probably like, bro, you ain't filling out shit. Listen, it's a big shirt, all right, bro? Leave me alone, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, you want to pick an exercise that is very easy to isolate. It doesn't have to be a pure isolation exercise, but something that really allows you to lock into the muscle. A little bit of mind-muscle connection, you know what I mean? So what I actually like to do, and this is easily one of my favorite supersets that I was doing for quite some time, with the front end, obviously, with the wide grip cable row. And I'm going to do, let me get that right. See, I got a little bit of clungy machines, and that's another thing. I purposely had to come up with this type of framework for lifting because the equipment I grew up with wasn't a lot, but I always wanted steroid-like allegations without the steroids. So before you're kind of coming in being like, bro, it's unnecessary, more than 6 reps is fatigue. That's not how we do it here, because understand, I had to kind of come up with this stuff on my own because most stuff only factored in pure hypertrophy. And when I lifted for pure hypertrophy, I'd find myself getting injured. I always had that pudge, that weightlifter pudge. And when I started lifting this way, it just felt like everything became so much more effortless. So understand, this has worked for me and a lot of other people that have been joining the YouTube since day one. You know, the OG, shout out to you. But what I'm gonna do is just a high to low cable row on the cable machine. And the reason why I love it is because I can feel it isolate the stretch. The stretch is so deep, and it's not that the stretch is magic, but when you can find the stretch of a movement, it allows you to come in precise, meaning you're doing quality reps. And that's how you need to think of it, is if this was the last rep I was allowed to do inside the gym, how beautiful would I make this rep? Extrapolate that all the way to the set, and you're gonna have an incredible physique that doesn't just look good, but moves like a Ferrari on 2 feet. Obviously, you need to throw in some sprints and stuff, but listen, we're here for a thick back because we're thick back supremacists. And you take it to complete failure, right? Then you move over to the other end. It's like this, same idea. Stretch all the way along here to gauge how to do the movement. Then drive your elbow into your hip. Drive your elbow into your hip. And I sometimes will over-exaggerate it while kind of keeping a neutral grip. You don't have to go crazy like me where I look this way and I torque my body. In isolation doesn't mean you have to go light for more reps. As you can see, I don't know, I got probably 5 on each, 6 on each, something like that. You don't need much more than that. I'm telling you that right now. It's about the quality that you're delivering on. Sometimes with something like lateral raises, for example, people go higher because their form breaks apart if they're kind of going heavier, and for some reason, the only way they can get quality reps is on something they can get, 10 to 12 reps on. But once you really start learning and your muscles start adapting, you'll be able to start instilling a lot heavier lifts to exercises that you originally need to go lighter on, right? It's about the quality of your reps. Go heavy. You can go light sometimes, or really just to go high reps. That's okay. That's the beauty of this framework. You can set up however you want. That's why I always tell you on the front end, we want to progress our strength. We want to make sure we're putting more weight up. And on the back end, you can just pick things that you just want to just finite. Bias in the same exact portion of the muscle, right? That's the point. That's the game. Anyways, I appreciate watching this video. Hope this is well worth your time. And understand, I already know some of you guys, Uncle Ram, you ain't tucked in. It's a sweatshirt, okay? We ain't tucking in the sweatshirt, and I don't have an undershirt on, so leave me alone. But we do tuck in, boys, if you're new here, because we are gentlemen. We're gonna bring back class back into this space, because the people on this page truthfully are special. There's a lot coming to you guys. Understand something. Fitness is huge, don't get me wrong. It was the way I got my life in order. But you have to take the health that we build up here, the steroid allegations without the steroids, right? Natural supremacy, but doing it in a way that people are like, that's impossible. That's the goal. That's the type of life you want to live. That's how I look at it, is you have to take your health and you have to move it over into your real life to make your real life better. Because when you're in phenomenal shape, you feel a certain way about yourself, but it also says a lot about your character without you having to say anything. And it amplifies. Anyways, I appreciate watching this video. Like I said, if there's anything you guys want specifically, please drop it down in the comments. If people like those comments, give those a thumbs up, and that way I don't make a video on it. As always, y'all, I love you very much. From Uncle Rami to the Natural Crusaders, Crusadia coming to you soon. June 22nd will be the day that we actually allow everyone to come in. There will be more information on that. Tune into the coffee talks. This is kind of what it's all about. You're not meant to go through the world alone. And I feel like a lot of us, especially if you're on this page, probably a little bit more of a loner, more isolated, not because you're a loner, lone wolf, but you don't identify with a lot of people. And I aim to fix that in a real way with some very special people. So anyways, I love you guys. Uncle Rami out. Peace.